Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 Gamepad and episode 4 of our My Team career here on F1 25. If you haven't seen last week's episode, there is a link in the top right hand corner of this video so you can catch up before you watch this one. Last time out we were racing in Bahrain and managed to secure our first Q3 appearance driving as Joshua Dirksen. Unfortunately, we weren't able to secure any points in the race, but positive signs that the car has made a step forward at least in one lap pace. We have the usual admin before we get into this week's episode in Jeddah: upgrades, activities, events. There's not a lot of time between these two races, but some of our upgrades come through in time to get on the car and we are slowly making progress. The big questions are, can we repeat our qualifying performance from Bahrain, and can we go one step further and secure Barden F1's first ever points? Let's find out.
Hello and a very warm welcome to practice. There is plenty to get to grips with here at the fastest street circuit of them all. There's no margin for error here at the Jeddah Corniche.
So the weekend begins as always with practice. Important this week not just for securing valuable resource points, but to really try and get dialed in this circuit where any mistake could mean that you're in the wall and out of the race. Weirdly, we get a bit of rain in practice too, which is unusual to see here, but regardless of the unexpected weather, we are able to complete our practice programs. We don't ace them all, but we collect a good haul of points before heading into qualifying.
Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But let's see who will be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
So we settle into our first lap of qualifying, which is going pretty well until we catch up with Gabriel Bortoleto prepping a lap, and who clearly blocks us on our way into the final corner. That's going to affect our time and put pressure on us as we aim to get into Q2. We're going out here at the end of the session on a brand new set of soft tyres, needing to hook up a time to make it out of Q1.
push down to P19, I'm afraid.
As I suspected from the earlier block, we gain a huge amount of time in the final corner and make it into Q2. Not so for our teammate who is out in P21, along with Doohan, Sainz, Lawson, Behrman and Hadjar. Our first run in Q2 is on a used set of tyres and is a 1 minute and 34 flat. Now that briefly puts us into third, but by the time we head out at the end of this session we are in P16. So if we are to match our qualifying performance in Bahrain, we need to find some time. We improve by almost 2 seconds, but we're out. It's 12th for us in the race. Not a terrible result, but still, with that kind of an improvement, I was hoping it would be enough for a second Q3 appearance. Also missing out on a place in Q3 will be Albon, Hülkenberg, both the Aston Martins of Alonso and Stroll, and Bortoleto.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, George Russell and Piastri, Tsunoda, Gasly, Antonelli and Esteban Ocon, Albon, Dirksen, Nico Hülkenberg and Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Bortoleto, Jack Doohan and Carlos Sainz, Lawson, Behrman, Martins and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We're hoping you can get some points this race. Good luck.
So Mark wants us to get points from here. We started 2 places higher in Bahrain and wasn't able to secure any, so it's going to be a tough ask. I'm a little wary of trying the one-stop given our previous issues with tyre wear, but I honestly think the only chance we have of getting points is by trying it and hoping events go our way in the race.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts. Okay, DRS is now available. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Okay, you're in the top 10. Come on, you can win that place back. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. Approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 7.0 seconds. Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive. Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push. Now, come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, Victor's in the pits. Victor is in the pits now. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 3.1 seconds. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Keep on him, he might make a mistake. Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon. Okay, gap ahead, 14.7 seconds. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number one, Max Verstappen. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Max Verstappen wins the race with Lando Norris in second and Lewis Hamilton completing the podium. We don't really care about all that though, because we have scored our first points not only of the season but ever in this My Team career. Things got a little intense there in the last 5 laps or so, and we really had to get our elbows out and fight for them points. But it's P9 for Joshua Dirksen and 2 points. It honestly feels like a race win. Our teammate does move up the order to finish P18, also on a 1 stop. I think in the end it was the right call for both of our drivers to do that 1 stop. Let's take a look at the updated driver standings. Lando Norris remains top of the pile, but Max Verstappen leapfrogs Charles Leclerc to second, dropping Leclerc down to third. Leclerc was the early pace setter in this season with a couple of early race wins, but really he seems to have fallen off in the last couple of races. The big news for us is Joshua Dirksen moves up into P13 after scoring those 2 points. Let's see how that affects the constructors' standings. It's as you were with the top 3 of McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull, but we enter the top 10, leaving the Racing Bulls the only team yet to score a point. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I certainly had a lot of fun in the race. If you did and you want to help me out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on that post notification bell so you never miss an upload. We will have another episode of My Team next week, and you can see the next episode of our driver career later in the week. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.